Hi, welcome to the Daily What? Welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abasi, I think. Um, I'm a gratefully recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. If that's any indication of how this day's podcast episode is going to go, watch out. So here's your warning. You can hit stop now. Good news. I just got accepted to take a peer recovery support training class. It was something that I've been wanting to do, and I want to get certified, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that without without meeting the requirements. No, I think they require you to have, he said like 500 hours of um face-to-face like peer support. And well, I can't do 500 hours of anything other than this podcast because because of my head. So anyway, I did get the feeling that it might be possible to figure that out, and maybe I'll be able to get certified. So right now, because I'm supposed to focus on just what's right in front of me, so I'm going to focus on the training, and I'm excited. So it sounds like it's going to be about a month, not even a month long. And it's 3 days a week and it's all day long. So this is going to be a lot. But he assured me that because of my disability, I will be able to listen more than I need to look at anything. And I'm a really good listener now. Maybe not to my husband, but to everybody else. And so I'm really excited. I felt like this was a great additional like qualification to doing my podcast. That's what I've been feeling like. I've been feeling like, yeah, I have 9 years of experience in recovery from alcoholism. I have 4 years experience as a stroke survivor and vestibular warrior. I've been still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to call that. Vestibular patient, vestibular warrior makes me feel I'm a little too humble to call myself a warrior, so I'm not quite sure. But um I felt like it would be nice to be trained on making sure that I'm using the right vocabulary. And I know that there are times maybe that I'll say something that another sponsor or something like that may not agree with, may feel like somebody should take a different path or something like that. So I am well aware from my time in my career that Rachel is not always right, and Rachel may not always have the best ideas. Other people's ideas are sometimes better than Rachel's, and I never liked to admit that. But I had a thing with my marketing team. I always disagreed with like we would talk about a topic and everybody thought we should do A and I disagreed and thought we should do B. So over time, I recognized that we need to do A. If the whole team thinks we should do A, depending, regardless of what I think we should do, unless it's of course, there were certain situations that we needed to do B. But anyway, I'm on a big ass tangent. And so that's just the big news that I got accepted. So it's not till September. Today's topic is not related at all to anything I've said so far. What I wanted to talk about is an idea that I thought of last night when I was going to sleep. And my number one, my success for the day is remembering what I was thinking before I went to bed last night. I thought to myself, you're never going to remember this. You're never going to remember this because my disorder, the cognitive side of my disorder makes it really, really difficult to remember things and to not only to remember things, but like find the words to it and stuff. Um, but I did. So I just made a special like self-talk. I made it a moment last night before I went to bed. Like, this is something that is a good idea, and you need to remember it for morning. A lot of things that I think of as I go to bed, I purposely let them go. I've talked to you a lot about this idea of if I've got something that I'm worrying about, and this is something that somebody shared in one of my sobriety meetings. If I've got something that I'm worrying about and I need to go to bed, then I need to put that worry on my nightstand and it'll be there in the morning. Um, when that idea was first introduced to me, I was like, but what if I don't remember it in the morning? Well, obviously it's not that important if I don't remember it in the morning. But to be able to lay my head down on my pillow and not take all of those almost my character defects to bed with me is a really freeing experience. And when somebody introduced that idea to me, I really pictured taking all of those worries and just putting them on my nightstand and going to bed. So I was separated from them and it worked for me. And you know what? Surprise, surprise, they were still sitting there when I woke up in the morning. The problems were still there. They don't go away. And they're certainly not going to go away when I take them into bed with me and lay them on my pillow with me. So, I was thinking about that experience. I was thinking about what that was like to start learning how to let go before I go to bed. Um, to like pause my worries and the weight of my thoughts before I go to sleep. It is, um, I don't know. It actually lowers my heart rate. Like I feel a physical impact from making that conscious decision to leave my concerns outside of the bed, you know? Um, so I was thinking about that and I thought, you know what that's like? So this is the brilliant idea that I was trying to remember today. The brilliant idea is, I thought last night, it's like having a secret decoder pen. Okay. So remember, like you open the cereal box, your Golden Grams or your Fruit Loops, and you had a prize inside. Like they don't do that anymore, which is irritating, but because I still get my Golden Grams and there's no prizes inside. But we used to get prizes in our cereal, and there was a big thing about a secret decoder pen. And I can't even remember how it worked. I I think that there's two pens. I could be totally wrong. So if this is going to be frustrating to you who are listening and you know exactly what I'm talking about and I'm about to say it wrong. But I think there was two pens and you would write down your message with one of the pens, and if you look at the paper you see nothing. And then you have the other pen, like you would write down your message and then you would pass the message to the other person who has the other pen. And so the only way they can read it is to color in over top of the message and then the secret message appears. I think that's how it went. So what I was thinking of last night is that going to bed is just another analogy of leaving your worries on your nightstand. But this is all internal. What I was thinking of is, so I have all these thoughts in my head, And in order to go to sleep and not worry about them, it's like they are written with the secret decoder pen, with the first pen, where all of my thoughts are written down. I know they're there. I know that I have all of these, they're like files inside my head. Like, choose what you want to worry about right now, you know? Well, I know they're all there, but I'm choosing not to decode them until I wake up in the morning. That was the idea. It's brilliant. No, I mean, to me, it was like just another really effective way of expressing the idea of letting something go. Like that I'm not ignoring it. I'm acknowledging that it's there, but I'm choosing not to decode the message until I choose so, until the morning. Um, so going to sleep for me is not just laying down and giving my body rest. It's not just physical rest for me. And this is really prevalent now after my stroke, that it is it's I've said that I said this a couple years ago. It's hitting the save button on my brain. So the things that I have done that day, it's a part of like um, that. My mind is blank, so bear with me. It happens. You guys are fully aware. It is neuroplasticity. There's the word. It is neuroplasticity that I am training my brain, and then when I sleep, it is hitting the save button. But what it also is for me is like an emotional surrender because the struggle that I have very often, maybe not daily, but weekly, is racing thoughts, worry spirals, to-do lists, and to be able to just make a decision to just encode all of that stuff so that I can't read it until morning is allows me to have that emotional surrender. Like there's nothing better. I know you know what I'm talking about. There's nothing better than laying down to go to sleep, and it's just like the temperature's perfect. You have the most perfect clothing on that's not like riding up when you put your legs under the blanket. You have a nice fluffy pillow. Your sheets are clean, and you lay down and you're like, ah, that is an emotional surrender. It's not just physical for me. So I don't know why I thought of this nostalgic and playful idea of the cereal box decoder pen, but it it's like I was thinking of like, I have a choice right now. Like I was laying in bed last night. I thought, I have a choice right now about what I get to think about. Um, and I don't want to think about all of those files that are in my brain right now. I just want to not like just let them be in the filing cabinet, but not look at them. I don't want to read them. And I thought about the secret decoder pen. So the secret decoder pen, very similar to putting your worries on your nightstand, is, I think, an act of trust. It's like I trust myself to get to worry about it later. I trust myself that um, I don't have to resolve everything right now. Um, I don't have to. resolve my worries within the same 24 hours that they appear. And separating myself from thoughts like that is intentional rest. It's not, I've said it earlier, it's not avoidance. It is it is setting a boundary. That's what it is. Now is the now is not the time to decode my problems, right? Now is the time to sleep. It's a boundary. It's the same as any other boundary that that you would set for yourself. Um, it's the longer I have been sober, the more that I have begun to like understand that my emotions are choices. Like it's hard to explain, you know? So hear me out. Like if something if something hurts me, of course it's going to cause me pain, emotional pain. And that if I don't process that emotional pain, then it's avoidance. But what I do get to choose is the time and place that I'm going to surrender to those emotions. Um, yeah, it takes a lot of practice. And no, I don't walk around like a machine and just being able to go, okay, I'm going to laugh at this moment in time, or I'm going to cry right now. And then I'm going to be done. But my psychiatrist helped me to understand that what I was doing when I was dealing with things was I was dealing with them, either I wasn't dealing with them at all, like experiencing my friend dying and just ignoring it. Just avoiding music, as I've told you guys before, like avoiding music for 2 years because it made me cry every time a song came on. But making like scheduling emotions into my day. If I've got a lot of pain I need to process, then choose a place in my house. I've talked about this before. Choose my recliner, go there, set aside time to feel, whether I'm praying or journaling or meditating or listening to music, and just crying if that's the emotion that I need to feel, and allow myself, you know, however long I need to sit down and do that and then like close the book on it and move on. Feel what I need to feel, and then like, okay, that's enough for now. Now go treat yourself to something that you enjoy. Go for a walk, go get a cup of your favorite coffee or something like that. And being able to time box and also assign a location in your environment to feel those feelings has been helpful for me. A lot of the stuff that I talk about requires a lot of self-awareness, and I totally understand that I'm in a little bit of a different situation where I don't have a career, I remember when I was at work and I would be totally pissed off at somebody. It's not like I can go, you know, put everybody on hold and say, hey, look, I need to go feel my feelings and I'll be back. It doesn't work like that. But I think that being self-aware and knowing that you have some emotions that need to be processed and setting aside room space for those has been really healthy for me, for sure. So back to this secret decoder pen. Um, so when I was going to sleep, I thought with this secret decoder pen, Those files in my brain, those thoughts that are, I'm very aware that they're there, and right now is not the time to decode them, um, was followed by this thought of like, I'm safe letting those thoughts sit there. Um, I will decode them in the morning. I'm just gonna remain right where I am right now. You know, mentally, I'm going to stay where my feet are because those thoughts most likely involve my mind traveling to a place where my feet are not, you know? So I need to breathe, I need to ground myself, I need to trust that all of that stuff can wait. And right now, I need to surrender to rest. And if the next day, you know, I wake up and I'm allowing myself to, okay, let's take a look at this stuff now. I don't have to look at it all at once. Lists are really good for me. I think it's probably because I lose my train of thought very easily now since my stroke. So, um, writing down that stuff that is in those files that I'm concerned about is really helpful. And then choosing a trusted friend or maybe sponsor or something like that, or family member to actually talk about the thing. Sometimes my thoughts and my worries don't necessarily need to be resolved, they need to be talked about. And I have to say it out loud. And that's why I'm here. That's why I do the podcast, because um, I have to talk about my recovery out loud. Not to mention, I want to make sure that the the experience that I'm having in recovery and the struggles that I go through, talking about them out loud will help somebody else deal with theirs. But um, I think that it's it's worth mentioning the importance of sharing that stuff that's in your head with another person. Um, I think that that is conducive to making sure you don't have so many worries to decode each night. Um, but knowing that for me, if I don't talk about it, those thoughts are going to stay in there. That stuff that I file away, like I can't go night after night after night not decoding it. I have to make sure the next day that I do something about it. And I know because of my program and going to my meetings and support groups and having a sponsor and all of that stuff that I have the resources that I need to be able to talk about my worries and that just that helps me. It helps me go from one day to the next. Because otherwise it's all just gonna stick there. And that's when it starts sinking down into what I call my dark place if I don't talk about it. So this network that I have and the support groups and stuff, they give me the strength that I need to face the stuff, face the hard stuff. So that's what I've got for you today. So I hope you run out and get a secret decoder pen for your children or your grandchildren, and I will talk to you tomorrow.